There we have the half moon, the waning moon. It places it right there in that fork. And the birds are flying up there and chirping. The gift of the world we've been given. The gift of life we've been given. The gift of providence, bringing us to this point in our lives, to this day of our lives, to this new week, this Sunday, and this moment. So many gifts. And one thing stands out very clearly for me today in all of the readings we have for this Sunday is how God respects our freedom. He makes offer, He provides for us. And even if it's painful for His heart, He respects our freedom. He doesn't impose. This is amazing. Sometimes it's very hard for us to be images and likeness of God in this aspect. We tend to need and to want and to oblige people to do it and see it the way we want it and see it and do it. And this deep respect, reverential respect for freedom is so part of the entire biblical story, and we have two major cases of it today. We could even say three. And the first one is Joshua coming into the promised land and the renewal of the covenant. And he says to them, well, you know, we've gone through all of this. Now we're going into the promised land. I don't know what you guys are going to decide, but as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. And for all subsequent readers through the centuries and the millennia, we know that the people's response was verbal, but has experienced incredible breakage. Promises given and broken. And that's the reality of history, and the cause of many tears and sadness. And we see the exact same pattern today when the offer is made here in Capernaum. Just right across here. And finishing up this 5 weeks reflection on John chapter 6, Jesus not only lets all the disciples abandon him because they don't like his teaching, the general crowd of disciples, which is quite substantial, especially after the multiplication of the loaves. And he turns to the disciples, his intimate core disciples, his 12 apostles, And he says, do you want to leave also? Now both Joshua and the people and these disciples have immediate memory. I think we need to talk about maybe firemen. And they have just saved your house from being burned down. They've pulled out a child or two, an elderly person, from the house as it was filled with smoke. And what relationship will you have to those people, to those fire people, the firemen? Okay, maybe it's not the same, but it's like kind of dramatically there at the level of our own parents. What our parents have done for us. And imagine never to recognize your parents on the street, passing by, never return a phone call. And some parents experience this. And they would understand then what happens when the disciples have gone away. When people make verbal promises because of immediate benefit and suitability at the moment, and then we have other personal opportunities and we don't hold our promises. And the bond that unites us to our parents, and then in the context of the religious appreciation of reality and what we've received from the Almighty, and what these people have received, their immediate memory after the 40 years in the desert. They know the stories, it's fresh. And then the people with Jesus know the stories and what he has done for them. It's not the freedom of the supermarket, this banana or that banana, fruits or vegetables, this candy or that candy. It's a whole life involved, the whole source of life. The incredible awesomeness of God, who doesn't impose. But also the incredible responsibility we have. And people, we don't like responsibility because, wow, that's heavy, heavy duty. We don't like responsibility. It costs us so much. And to walk away. I didn't think that the sun would take this long to appear this morning, the sun disk. I wonder, will we wait to see it? Taste and see how good the Lord is. Maybe that's what we need to do before we walk away. Taste and see the goodness of the Lord. taste and see the goodness of the Lord. Psalm 34. I will praise the Lord at all times. The context of my decision making, the context of my fidelity, of my response. I think we leave the sunrise for the Instagrammers. And then it's interesting how that physicality of response, that concreteness of response, that concreteness of fidelity has its maximum expression also in marriage, which is the second reading today from Ephesians 5. Sometimes people look at that reading with the mentality of today, which obviously we have to have the mentality of the day, we can't not have it, but we have to be fair to it, because that reading about the respect and the mutual love of husband and wife expressed 2,000 years ago was a revolution, and very, very transformative. It took a long time for people to accept it and assimilate it and make it theirs. A long time. Oh, there comes the sun for you. And so that's also a very tough field. The responses in marriage, the mutual responses, and how that reflects that gift of the union of God and humanity, of the spouse of his people, his spouse, the groom and the bride. That's the mystery that is there. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. You got to see the sun this morning. I was figuring it mightn't happen, but there you have it. Okay, God bless you.